Well, I thought that we did some good things in the Georgia Southern game. We got off to a really quick start offensively, and for the most part, was pretty efficient on offense throughout the game. Defensively, we made some plays. We gave up a little bit. The score at the end was disappointing, but all in all, I felt like once the game started, we pretty much had the game in hand. Bye week came at a good time. After 7 straight games, we're pretty beat up, and it was good to be able to get a couple days off for the guys and hopefully renew the energy and come back and finish up the last half of the season strong. So,
Questions for Coach Johnson?
We've talked a little bit about the offense already. What do you see on the defensive side of the ball from Duke?
well, I think that they're really pretty good. I think on defense when you watch the tape, they're well coached. The two inside linebackers are both really good players. Uh, I think that the defensive line they play a lot of different people. The Wolf kid has been playing for a long time, and he's really stands out. Uh, the kid number 26 that kind of took Jeremy Cash's place has made a lot of plays. He's in that same position. Uh, and they've got a couple of veterans back in the secondary. The Singleton kid from here in Atlanta, from Archer Gwinnett, has been probably a 3-year starter for them and played a lot. And the Borders kid at corner has been a player that's played a lot. So they're fairly experienced. They're well coached. They've played very well against option teams the last 2 or 3 years. From Navy to Army to us. So they got a good scheme and they execute it pretty well.
Questions for Coach Johnson?
You mentioned Jeremy Cash. Can you kind of put into words just the impact that he had the last couple of years?
Well, he made a ton of plays against everybody the last couple of years for him. I mean, he was probably, if not one of the most valuable defensive player in the league. He was certainly on the short list, and so he made a ton of plays. Our last 2 games against them have been different. Last year we did not play well at all up there offensively. I think down here the year before we turned the ball over. We had some yards and moved the ball. We had too many turnovers to win.
More questions for Coach Johnson?
In terms of, I guess, defensively, kind of what are you looking for to see kind of a progression? At the midpoint of the season, it seems like it's still not where you want it.
Well, no, we got to be better on third downs and try to get off the field. I mean, we beat that horse to death. I mean, we've talked about it, but that's the bottom line. I think at times we've been okay on scoring defense. Of course, the games have been limited possessions, so it kind of masks some of that. But I think if we can be better on third down, then everything will fall into place. It'll make everything better if you can get off the field. Turnovers is another big thing. We've had a hard time, getting turnovers.
Can I follow up on what you said about the third down defense? Has there been one thing that's been a common thing that you've tried to maybe focus on in the off week?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it a lot and try to practice it or whatever. Sometimes you just got to go make plays, and the best way to be good at third down defense is not being 3rd and 2 all the time. You got to create some negative plays. We did that last week. I thought we created a lot of negative plays. We had some sacks, but then on second down we weren't very good. So it created, and we haven't been real good on 3rd and long either. So we've had several opportunities where it's 3rd and 8 plus to get guys off the field, and we haven't been great at that either. So we've got to look at ourselves and look at what we're doing. If you're sending 5-man pressure and you're not having any success, then it needs to be 6. And if you're not having any success, it needs to be 7. And, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and hope it's going to change. The punt return? I think we've done a good job in holding up, and Brad's done a nice job making the first guy miss a lot of times when he's returned them, and truthfully we probably don't have a whole lot of returns. You know, I don't know how many punt returns we have, but several of them have been fair catches and that kind of thing. What do we got, 8 or 9? 7, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not a big pool to pull from, yeah.
Also may be another kind of random question, but right now the ACC has 4 of the top 11 defenses in the nation. Reflecting on your time here, as you go week to week through the league, does that kind of jump out at you that this is getting tougher and tougher?
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder. It's like I said all along. This is the best the league's ever been defensively. I think from top to bottom. There have been teams in the past, but I think overall, top to bottom, yeah, this is the best it's been defensively. At least the teams we played so far.
The quarterback play also in the league seems to be a lot different than when you
Yeah.
got here.
Well, I think the whole league's changed. I mean, this is not the ACC of the 1990s. It's just not. You expanded. I was looking the other day. I think that since the expansion, the teams that were originally in the league in the 80s have only been. If you take Clemson out of that mix, there's only been 2 other times that one of them have been to the championship game, and that was the last 2 years. Now I'm discounting us because we've been in it 3 times, but I'm saying of the other teams, the original members, the Duke, Wake Forest, Virginia, NC State, the original ACC members haven't been. You know, North Carolina and Duke the last 2 years is the first time that any of those teams have been to the championship since expansion. Because Florida State was added after them as well.
Can you talk a little bit about the legacy you've built at Navy with Ken? He's having another really impressive season this year there, and it's built upon what you changed there, because I mean they were winless when you got there.
Yeah, well, I think that you know, Kenny and the players there deserve the credit for that. I hadn't been there in a long time, but it's I think football's important there now. That once they got a taste of winning and success, I think they try to stay in that mode and keep up with everything they can do to help do that. And they've won some close games this year. You know, I'm sure that it's changed somewhat. They've been very fortunate in that they've had some good quarterbacks. They've done a nice job, you know, being creative on defense and creating turnovers and getting some stops, because you know they're not going to have the same type players that other people have. And you know, it's just like I was telling somebody the other day. I was talking to Jeff, which kills another myth that everybody here loved to have, is you can't play defense with this offense. And Army was number 2 in the country in total defense and number 2 in whatever, which you should be, because you play less plays and less possessions. And so I think they've done a really good job of managing, and they've won a ton of close games. So you know, they've really done a nice job.